My cocky teammate. And I'm cocky? Hero khaki. For this team? I shout in a whisper towards Coach Campbell. It was only the first day of training. And the new transfer, Leo Gilbert, is proving to be a headache already. He refuses to pass, essentially hogging the ball in practice. Coach said he would be a valuable asset to our team and would ease our way to the championship. But it's proving to be quite the contrary. Coach Campbell sighed and peered at me. I thought you agreed on sharing the spotlight between the two of you. Can you please try to work together? I raised my hands and then brought them down in defeat. I'm trying. He's the one who should be reprimanded, I exclaimed, pointing at Gilbert animatedly. He was standing on the sideline as the rest of his teammates did their punishment. Coach Campbell closed his eyes momentarily. I think he's just misunderstood. Look, Jamie, you're our captain for a reason. Set an example for your team. And pair with Gilbert from now on during drills. I'll inform him. I raised my hand to protest. But Coach was already walking off. I then saw him talking to Gilbert, who looked like he was forsaken by heaven. But surprisingly, he did not complain. Let's do a one-on-one fast break drill to test your agility and speed. Run along with your partners, Coach ordered. Begrudgingly, I trudged towards Gilbert, who looked as miserable as I was. Without exchanging words, we did our drills and went back and forth on who was faster. Clearly, we were bringing out each other's competitive spirit, as the rest of the team seemed to be doing the drills well too. But laced with fun. However, we were straight-faced and unspeaking, which intensified the air around us. The silence finally broke when Gilbert broke my own record, amazing me with his speed. Whoa, I said before I could stop myself. I mentally slapped myself for saying that out loud. Gilbert smirked, evidently satisfied that I was impressed. Come on now, don't fall in love with me that easily, he teased. I glared at him, disgusted by how narcissistic he was. I still hate you, Leo Gilbert, I said. Ditto, he replied. That was how our training sessions went on for the next few weeks. Gilbert and I barely exchanged any words unless it was to trash talk one another. But as I continued to work with him, the more I was astonished by his drive to win and his perseverance. Although he was one cocky man most of the time, I saw myself in him and admired his passion for the game. From then on, I decided to be more open-minded in working with him. Maybe it was not so bad after all. Every now and then, a teammate would piss Gilbert off. I have long since removed myself from the equation, opting to be unbiased as I strived to give him a chance to redeem himself. He was not the nicest guy, but I saw how hard he worked day in and day out. So I decided to give him the benefit of the doubt. Most of the team still felt uneasy around him as he remained unspoken and cold. But on the court, he delivered. As much as I hated to admit it, he lived up to the hype. Plus, he wasn't as bad as I initially perceived. Maybe I didn't hate my cocky teammate anymore. It was during a game a week later that our relationship took a sharp turn. It was our opening match of the season, and there were 3 seconds left on the clock. The score was tied, and neither of the teams had a timeout, so we had to wing it there and then. That possession, which our team thankfully had, was a test of teamwork, trust, and talent. Gilbert had been bailing us out the entire game, so naturally, he held the ball on this possession. I, on the other hand, underperformed, so I let him take control. But everyone on the team knew I was the clutch guy. If there was anyone who could make a sure game winner, it would be me, and everyone knew it. Everyone except Gilbert, I'm afraid. But in an unexpected twist of fate, with less than a second to spare, Gilbert passed me the ball, and I was able to get the shot out on time. Bullseye. We won our very first game together. Like everyone else, I was beyond elated, but puzzled, because did Gilbert really just do that? He was having an excellent game and could have scored the game-winning shot himself. But he chose to trust me and shared the limelight with me. Why did you do that? I asked curiously when we were the only ones left in the locker room later that night. Gilbert turned around and met my eye. He eyed me inquisitively, as if calculating me with so much intensity. Trust, he replied shortly before turning around to leave. Wait, Gilbert, I called out, but in his typical fashion, he did not stop. Leo, wait, he stopped dead in his tracks. Probably because no one here ever called him by his first name. What? He said, much more softly than usual. Look, I know you're not the most comfortable in this team, and I'm not gonna lie. I judged you too early. I let the rumors about you define you in my eyes before I even got to know you. I explained, what I'm trying to say is, I'm sorry for judging you too quickly and not even bothering to get to know you. That was the first time I saw Leo Gilbert ever smile. And it was a beautiful sight. So you want a truce? I frowned. You're not even gonna say sorry back? I crossed my arms. He chuckled. And I could not even be mad at that moment because a happy Leo Gilbert was much too contagious. Fine, I'm sorry for being an ass. You also truce? Truce, I repeated after him. If you want, I can come in early to take shots. Maybe you want to come train with me before our team training begins? He nodded. Count me in. From that day on, Leo and I made a routine to enter the school gym as early as 5 a.m. even though our training did not start until 6:30 a.m. We developed a dynamic that was first rooted on mutual trust on court to a blooming friendship and possibly something more. As they got to know Leo, yes, I started calling him by his first name and not Gilbert anymore. The more I saw our similarities, we were both family-oriented, extremely passionate about basketball, and strived in school as well. We started working out together pre-training, exchanging wellness tips and tricks in court. At first, while I saw it as two star players simply working on their game together. Initially, I could not help but feel something blossoming, like I wasn't there merely for training anymore. I actually enjoy this company. And I would like to think he enjoyed mine too. Come on, Jamie, you can't get past me. Leo joked as we were doing one-on-one basketball one morning. Come on, baby. My heart skipped, and I stopped dribbling momentarily. I knew he only meant it to tease me as we always did whenever we would train together. Come on, baby, I replied, emphasizing the endearment. He seemed taken aback too, but quickly regained his composure. Two can play at this game. He was momentarily distracted by my teasing, so I utilized that split second to get past his defense and shoot a basket. His smirk and got the ball from me. Wipe that smile off your face, or I might kiss it away. Baby. He teased once more as he dribbled. I stopped dead in my tracks, looking him in the eye. Make me. I smirked back to my utmost shock. He dropped the ball and kissed me square on the lips. Roughly. It was not some gentle romance novelist first kiss, it was strong and aggressive. But just as passionate for his kiss. And the thing is, I loved it. Having learned have you since the day we met. You must know one thing. I love challenges. And you're my biggest one yet. He winked. The next week I was distracted by the kiss that happened. I was torn because I actually loved it. And Leo seemed unapologetic about it. We went about our routine, meeting up early in the morning and stay until late night to work on our game. But recently, we had gotten more schoolwork piled up, so we would retire earlier from the gym and use the empty benches outside to do our homework together. Every now and then, Leo would lean in and inquire about a math question. Seeing as I excelled in the subject, he would get too close that I could hear his breathing. I would get lost in his eyes while he explained this problem. I would stare at his long eyelashes for a split second longer. My breathing would speed up. That was his effect on me. He noticed it sometime that week. He was checking his answer with mine, and our bodies were so close to the point that our shoulders were touching. And he was leaning in, so his face was so adjacent to mine. Stop staring. I'm doing my homework, he jokingly grumbled. I snapped out of my reverie and redirected my focus on my paper. What are you talking about? I pretended, giving me those screwy eyes again. He whispered, faking a seductive tone. You think I don't notice? I don't know what you're talking about, I said, blushing profusely. He chuckled and pinched my nose, seemingly entertained by the effect he had on me. Poor baby is shy, he teased. I pushed him on the chest playfully, wanting to create some distance between us. What are you doing? I shouted. Someone might overhear you and create some nasty rumors about us. I heard some people are already suspicious that we've suddenly become friends. They think there's something more. And they're unbelieving because we were once enemies. My effort to get away from him was in vain because he took my defiance as a signal to get even closer to me. Our lips were merely inches away from each other. And I could hear his breathing so well. You think I care about what people think? He pointed at the rest of the school. Although the hallways were already empty since it was almost 10 p.m., they don't know me. They don't know us or this. Whatever we have, they don't know how I can only really be myself when I'm with you. They don't know how you're the only person who's ever really giving me a chance. That was when I kissed him. It was still like an aggressive kiss. Like our first. But this time it was intertwined with passion and fiery heat. We were like starved animals craving each other and desperate to express our emotions through intimate act. I'm glad they don't know us then, I replied. If they did, they would all be hella jealous. Being together in secret was more difficult than I had anticipated. Although Leo and I tried to go on with our typical routine. It was hard to turn back after that fateful night. We were officially together, and I was over the moon. The catch was nobody knew. And we preferred to keep it that way. Foul, I shouted as Leo defended me with so much aggression one morning. Our team training did not start for another 30 minutes. But as usual, we were earlier than everyone and were just playing around before the rest of the guys arrived. I decided to sit on the bench as my hand was reeling from the pain of Leo's hit. It was accidental, but it hurt. Baby, he said, aghast after seeing me rub my palm. I'm so sorry. It was an accident, I swear. Look, I'm competitive and all, but I'd never hurt you. I laughed at his explanation and facial expression. He looked like he was about to cry, desperate to convince me he was not being violent on purpose. I know. Babe, calm down. He heaved a sigh of relief and started rubbing my palm for me. It was fine after a minute or two. But then he started planting kisses on it, and I looked at him endearingly. I love you, I said. He cracked a lopsided, boyish smile. I love you, he replied, kissing my forehead. At that moment, we heard a group of guys hollering in the hallway a stone's throw away from the gym. Thankfully, they were just entering the gym, and we had time to break apart before they spotted us so suspiciously close together. Being together was a blessing. But being together in secret might just be a double-edged sword. As the weeks passed, Leo and I were able to sustain our secret relationship. We would exchange knowing glances in class or in hallways. But it was during the early mornings and late nights when we would really be able to be ourselves without anyone around. We were limitless. It was just Jamie and Leo. No one else. Are you scared? Leo asked one night as we were finishing up on our homework on a secluded bench outside the gym area. Of what? I questioned. Getting found out, he replied. Our teammates finding out. Imagine that. Do you think they would be homophobic? I shrugged. I can never tell. I mean, they are nice people, but I really don't know how they feel about our relationship. Love, he nodded. I wish for a world where we didn't have to hide. I smiled weakly and took his hand in mine. He kissed the crown of my head as I toyed with his fingers. Just relishing his presence in the peacefulness of the night when the halls were empty and there were no boisterous fellow students around. It was when I felt most alive, and probably because Leo was right there by my side. That day will come, I'm positive, I reassured him, and when that day comes, and we're out to the world, I will be the proudest guy ever. I am so proud to call you mine. He smiled in affirmation and kissed me thoroughly. I must have manifested that day of us being out to the world coming, because that was the very moment that, unknown to us, cheerleader and blonde bimbo Sydney Smith spotted us. The next day, the rumors started spreading like wildfire. I knew because one of my good friends, Guido, told me all about the story Sydney was telling the world. She must be tripping because she fabricated that story so much. But the essence remained the same. Star players were spotted smooching after school hours. It seemed unreal and a means to tarnish our reputation. But Sydney had proof. And although she dared not forward them to our schoolmates lest she got caught by the school administration for slander, she showed them around. When Guido was telling me the happenings, my heart sank at first. What would the world think of us? Would our teammates accept us? But then I felt an odd sense of relief. Here was the moment we had been waiting for. A time where we did not have to hide. Where we could be ourselves and love each other openly. And so, I mustered up the courage to walk into school that morning hand in hand with Leo. Ignoring the gawking stares that we got or the whisperings that followed us from the entrance and all the way to the gym. They hate us, I muttered as we neared their classroom. Because they ain't us, Leo replied, and they don't have a love like us. We turned to look at each other, hand enveloped in the warmth of the other, and let out a hearty chuckle. However, I was most anxious for her teammates' reactions, as I did not know if it could ever work the same way on court again if they perceived me differently. I also did not know if they would trust a gay man to lead their team. I could not gauge where they stood at his best because we did not have training that morning. So Leo and I were not able to see them. But my questions were answered during lunchtime. The team usually sat in a large round table. Leo and I grabbed our lunch trays. And I realized only 2 seats remained in the round table. We were the only ones missing. I sighed and looked at Leo, who gave me a single nod as though saying let's go and face them. I looked for extra seats. However, resident jackass and football player Chad Green decided it would be nice to knock Leo down accidentally and make his lunch spill all over the floor. "That's for being gay," his pal said, and his entire friend group of fellow jocks erupted in laughter as if mocking Leo. I swiftly came to his rescue and helped him out. We were about to retaliate from the taunting of Chad and his group when a group of tall, muscular men blocked our view. It was Jeff, Charles, and Justin. They were 3 of our teammates. "And what's wrong if he's gay?" Jeff asked, sizing up Chad, who slowly started backing up. Charles and Justin nodded in agreement. "He got a problem with that?" Justin asked. Chad Green now seemed all too quiet. His clique also shut up at once, as though frightened at the sight of our fellow basketball players coming to rescue. Chad then shook his head, and my teammate smirked. "Good," said Charles, "because if you or anyone here got a problem with our boys, Leo and Jamie, then you've got a problem with all of us." He pointed at the entire basketball team, and the whispers that have followed me and Leo since this morning seemed to die at once. "Thank you all," I muttered as we headed back to our table where we were greeted by our teammates as though nothing has happened. They accepted us wholeheartedly. "No need to thank any of us. The team will always back you up," Justin replied. "Brothers, remember? A month later was the championship game. Once again, we found ourselves tied with only less than a minute to spare. And I was handling the ball this time around. Harold Haynes, a shooting guard of the opposing team, had been talking trash the entire time, taunting me from a relationship with Leo, which he somehow managed to find out about despite being from different schools. "Your man screws you good. Huh? You best bet you would like it with me more," he teased, trying to distract me and rile me up. But I was locked in. The past month had been a bliss being open with my team and being able to show affection with Leo in school. I was not going to let Harold Haynes of all people take this championship away from us. "Hey, I'm talking to you. Or is it you who wants to do me? Huh? You won't score against me because you want me in your bed. Huh?" he teased. I had gone through so much rumors and discriminations. At first, I was immune to his trash talk, and it no longer fazed me. Leo and I had shared something special, and if there was anything I learned in a relationship, it was never let anyone's opinion of you change how you feel. At that moment, I made the pass to Leo, who happened to free himself and got enough space to release a shot. Bullseye. He hit the winning shot this time around just as the buzzer rang. We were champions. I exchanged hugs with my teammates, and in the heat of the moment, I kissed Leo square on the lips in front of everyone. The crowd was filled with owls. And when we broke apart, I could see my coach, Coach Campbell, smiling from ear to ear while clapping. "I love you, champ," said Leo. "And I love you," I exclaimed, engulfing him in a bear hug. How odd, right? It's like things have come full circle. We became friends because he trusted me with a game-winning shot in our first game. And in our last, "You passed me the ball and trusted me to make the game winner," he replied. I shook my head as I leaned on his chest, unbelieving this insane journey I went through the past few months. At that point, I spotted Coach Campbell gazing admirably at us from afar. "I'll be back," I told Leo, heading over to speak to Coach Campbell. "Congrats, Coach," I said as I pulled him in for a hug. He hugged me back and messed up my hair. "So is he still cocky?" he asked, referring to Leo and alluding to my statement about my now boyfriend on her first day of training. I chuckled at Coach's comment. "He is, your friend. It's just that he's my cocky boyfriend now." Jamie Elliott was the star of his private school's basketball team when a new transfer named Leo Gilbert enters the team and is unable to work harmoniously with the rest of the group. Jamie steps up to complain to his coach, Coach Campbell. However, Coach Campbell affirms that Leo would be an excellent addition to their team and encourages Jamie to work with Leo in an attempt to unite the team. Coach Campbell parries them for workouts where Jamie realizes that he has more in common with Leo than he had initially thought. They were both driven, smart, and extremely passionate about basketball. Their dynamic progresses, but it was not until Leo trusted Jamie in court enough to pass the ball to him to make a game winner did they truly blossom. They started putting in extra hours together, meeting up before their team's morning trainings to work out by themselves and staying late at night to do homework and get more workouts in. In an unexpected twist of fate, they find themselves developing feelings for each other, and they started a relationship. One night, unbeknownst to them, a cheerleader named Sydney spotted him smooching and snapped a photo of them. Sydney then proceeds to publicize Sattu's relationship, and they immediately became the talk of the town. They were followed with whispers and judgmental gazes everywhere they go. During lunchtime that day, football player and school bully shut Green Mox Landon, but their basketball teammate stood by them and defended them from discrimination. The teammates affirmed that they accept Leo and Jamie and that they were a brotherhood for a reason. In the last game of the season and the championship game, opponent Harold Haynes attempts to trash talk Nate about his sexuality and Leo were in vain, as Nate kept his eye on the prize and eventually won them the championship. VM. Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing to become a part of a rainbow forest and stay wholesome.